Recording is on.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the September 12th, 2022 DXbiz call. Um, we have a smaller group today. We have a bunch of people attending DAPCon in Berlin, also a handful of people traveling, and but we have a core group here. We have an agenda posted in the chat here with a handful of things, but first we will start with Jimmy from Apollo X, who is working on they have an offering related to kind of trading and exchanging that can be white labeled, and it's a possibility to explore in the AMM side of things. And so, Jimmy, if you want to introduce yourself and then talk about Apollo X and what you're offering, we can give you about 15 or 20 minutes and hopefully and ask some questions at the end as well, if that works.
Yeah, thanks, Guy. And yeah, this is Jimmy from Apollo X. And yes, let me share my screen. And I think the time is limited, so I will give some roughly the first I will introduce make an introduction about Apollo X. Then I will talk about the program we call Dex Engine program. We share our futures protocol, and we share not only the technology but also the trading fee, so it can enhance not only the I would say not only the function but also the revenue. Yeah. Let me share my screen first.
Great.
Yeah. I think let me start first. And yes, let me introduce about a little bit about Apollo X. Yeah. Yeah, we funded by people from traditional finance institutional. And yeah, and now we are top 10 DX's exchange on coin market cap. I think for the day, I just checked, we are number 4 in the DEX exchange. And yeah, the cumulative trading volume until May this year is around 158 billion. And we have more, and now I think we have more than 200,000 wallet connect with Apollo X. And yeah, one more key issues is we was invested by Binance Lab and also as Street Commerce as well as TP, and this is a Trust Wallet. Yeah. I think here's our main thing is central exchange are criticized for the lack of users' privacy and high transaction fee. So, decentralized exchange is for us is a logic solutions, and also now we switch our models to DAO self governance this year April. And yeah, and now is what Apollo X offering. Yeah, Apollo X, we are a hybrid exchange. We have a central exchange and decentralized exchange. We have a futures product and spot product. And this is, we call DEX Engine. We will share our futures protocol to other exchanges. And also we have Game5, and we have some Apollo X token holder, APX holders, they can stick their tokens in our exchange. Here's some overview about competitors. Here's the centralized exchange trading fee comparison. And compare with Binance, Bybit, FTX. I think it's not, we're not, but I would say they are more competitive than the Apollo X. But compared to those DEX futures exchanges like DYDX and others, we have a very competitive trading fee. And yeah, and here's some general rules information. I'll say some key benefits trading on Apollo X securities: deep liquidity, 24/7 customer support, ease of use, stable system, and also we have now we have BNB and Ethereum chain support, and we will launch Ethereum layer 2 solution later. Yeah, and now we have more than 67. I think until today is around 70 trading of futures pairs. Yeah, and also here's the supported wallet connection. And yeah, I think yeah, and also I think here's our token called APX, and here's our allocation. We list our token last year, December, around 25, and we distribute our token in a retroactive mining reward to those the users in the very beginning stage, and also we list our token on PancakeSwap. And the other reward we will distribute by there's a trading reward for each 10 days, and also we will use the token to in the community treasury, and also for as well as the marketing partnership. Then yep, and let me move to the key part we call build DEX engine program. Yeah, and yes, I think here's our solutions. The benefit of the solution is that we have a we can white label our futures protocol. Is a very simple, easy solution, and we will share our SDK via GitHub, and you can modify your brand logo and your logo or your colors or the button size according to the SDK document. And it's a native DEX experience. And also you can here's an additional function. We can also set your token to be like the trading fees, so the users can trade futures protocol buy your token in your swap or AMM exchange. Yeah, and all our partners and Apollo X, we sharing the liquidity. So which means that there's a users trade in PancakeSwap, then and they share the liquidity also trade in Apollo X or our other partners like ApeSwap or BabySwap. And yeah, here's other benefits. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's quite easy to onboard your front end, and it's also can I would say to give you a new business profit model. And for this part is we have a dedicated client support. As I mentioned, 24 hours, 7 days. Other than that, I will share. We also have a new function here, like we have a chat room for all users, include traders in Apollo X, and also include the traders in PancakeSwap or BabySwap, which they we use. Let me just show. Have like ApeSwap if they use our solutions. Yeah, ApeSwap here is pro trading. They launch our futures protocol in this domain name. We will launch the chat room. Then all the traders in Pancake or ApeSwap, they can share their information. For this profit model, we would use this I would say a commission scheme, but it's more easier than our affiliate program. So for those users, they for those partners whose trading volume up to, I would say up to here's a 1 billion. If up to 1 billion per month, that they the partners can get a 70% commission if the trading volume is up to 100 million per month, they can get 60% of the trading fee. And if less than 100 million, that we will share 50-50 for the transaction fee. Yeah, and here's some use case in PancakeSwap and also in other. Yeah, I'm also share the use case with Nathan, and here's the. Yeah, we also have some. Oh, sorry. Yeah, update one in ApeSwap. Yep. Here's I think it's a roughly general introduction about the partnership. How we can do these introduction or promotion with Swapper as well. And yeah, let me see if there's others. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure if everyone can see, and also it's clean because the time is limited. So, yeah, how about move to the Q&A part that I can answer the question and everyone can better understand what we are doing here. Yeah, hi Sky. Can I move to the Q&A part?
Yeah. This is cool. I guess people can go like use it themselves on directly or on PancakeSwap or ApeSwap or something. My initial question would be like the ApeSwap experience you just showed us, or like when you go to this pro, you basically like the UI it like leaves the PancakeSwap or ApeSwap experience, and it kind of the domain is branded, but the experience basically looks identical to Apollo X. Is that
yes?
Is that like? Do you know how users of ApeSwap, like ApeSwap has a lot of users, how many do they find this kind of separate experience interesting? Do you think it's popular in their community, or are they does it, because it kind of like it doesn't leave the domain, but it leaves the product, the normal product experience. So is there a way to embed this into like Swapper like experience more like hidden, or do you have to kind of just pop out to the Apollo X experience in order to use it?
Yes, yes, understand. I think regard to your question, and yes, I think most of our partners, they share I would say share the same SDK document, so you can see the experience is quite similar. Also, as Apollo X, yeah. And but the thing is that we also upgrade our version. If you guys use by mobile, we have a 2 version. If the users try to use, let me see. Yes, so you can see here, we have a light version and we have advanced version, which can fit those mobile apps users. Yeah, here's the light version. Yeah. And I would say, regard to your questions, because our solution is quite straightforward and very simple. If you guys will launch additional function like what I present, the futures protocol, yeah, it just I would say some partners, they just take 2 or 3 days that they can launch the whole product to their community. And yes, and also regard to your question about if the users in ApeSwap or PancakeSwap, they're active or not. Yeah, I would say now for PancakeSwap, the trading volume roughly is around to be honest, is around 20% of our total volume. Is around, I'll say it's around. Let me check. Pancakes, what is around 20%? Is around 20 million. I would say for Pancake is quite active because Pancake promote this features protocol for, I think it's for more than 3 months. And yeah, and also we also will help to for our partners to attract their users. Yeah, and here's we call the marketing playbook for our partners. We have different different type of campaign. For new partners, we have like air draw campaign that here we share the budget. Yeah, if we cooperated, 1,000 will sponsored by us, and the other 1,000 will sponsored by our partners. That here's the air draw campaign, and if we acquire or attract more users, also we move to the second stage. We can do some trading campaign, or here's a trading campaign, and we also will sponsor like around 2,500 to support your business. And also we have a P&L, and also we have a referral program, and also we are building our referral system. So if a swapper use our DEX engine solutions now, it's not only can face to the retail users, it also can share the protocol to your I would say introducing brokers or those agents that they can help you to share this product, and more users can to acquire. I would say they can to earn a commission or help you to explore the not I think not just our product, but also the key functions in Swapper.
Cool.
I'm not sure if I'm clear. Yeah.
Yeah, and the experience, like a Swapper user would say, I want to use Pro or Swapper Pro or whatever. This thing opens up, and then a user deposits, like that promotion thing was mentioning deposits. So like you deposit into Apollo X, and then it kind of sits there isolated, and then you can trade from like whatever you have deposited into it, right?
Yes, yes, because the system is we use our order book mechanism. So yep, the I would say the deposit and withdraw is on chain, the others are off chain. So yes, they will deposit for us first.
So where is the deposit going to?
Yeah, to our contract, to our
yeah, it sits in the contract, and then that you're saying the rest is all this order book stuff, and the trading is off chain or on chain?
Yes, the trading is off chain. I think similar as DYDX. Yeah, I would say in this stage, those order book mechanism exchange, yeah, only the deposit and withdrawals are on chain now. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Does anyone else have any questions for Jimmy? I guess not. So yeah, Jimmy, thanks for showing this. It's cool to see. It makes it easier to see exactly how a few other AMMs are using it. like from a white label perspective, the swapper
Yep.
team can, now that they're quite aware of this, we can make it. Yeah, we can figure out how, or if we want to kind of embed it into the experience. But we need to, we'll need to, as a product squad, we're going through a lot of decisions related to product right now, so we can put this on the list of priorities and potential revenue from it, and all that kind of stuff. And then the co-promotion thing is really interesting. But we'll probably have to speak about it internally, and then we can come back to you. And as Vanky's saying, we have to do a bit of internal research to see exactly how we would implement it, and what the benefits and versus drawbacks would be.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Sky. May I know if I can send the documents to you guys?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and could you share your emails or?
Yeah, if you just send it to me or Nathan, we'll share it with the rest of the crew. So that'd be the
no problem
easiest way. But we can follow up after this call. But thanks for joining, and thanks for showing us Apollo X. Is APX token largely on Binance? Is it mainly on Binance chain?
Not yet. So I would say our holders, they highly expected we will list our token on Binance. So now we listed on Gate.io, MX, MXC, and I'd say some other exchange, some tier 2 exchange. But now we also how to say I would say we discussing with many first tier exchange for listing. Like I would say like OK, Hopi, they also plan to launch our token in the exchange. And let's see. And also for if your developer also interested in our project, our SDK, I can share our SDK to you guys as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Jimmy.
Yeah, welcome, Scott.
Well, you're welcome to hang around the call or leave. We're going to move to the next topics on the agenda.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe you could, you could stop sharing your computer so we can watch everything you do. Okay, thanks. Cool. Yeah, so maybe the swapper squad can take this offline, and we can discuss more into it. Next, we wanted to just talk about a topic of improvement. I think communication between people and squads and community and channels is probably something that DXbiz squad and squads in general can probably do better than we've been doing. And so having having feedback loops where input and feedback actually affects the work and the paths that different squads are going down, based on what they've done in the past and what they're planning to do in the future, which can be done, from in like individual contributor proposals, but it's less clear because it's specific to people. But having the same ideas and open sharing of like the actual paths and decisions that squads are taking, and making sure that's communicated better to the public and the different squads and people interested in that topic, especially because DXbiz squad is a squad, but what the opportunities that come in and through DXDAO actually come from many, many different people, right? So in theory, everyone that's contributing to DXDAO and everyone that is in the DXDAO community can be on the lookout for interesting opportunities for DXDAO. Anyone can make a proposal to DXDAO. Anyone can share an idea into DXDAO. Then there's prioritization and focus on which ideas to pursue, which, if one thing that probably hasn't been happening is squads, product squads, specifically asking, other squads like DXbiz squad or DX voice squad or other areas for specific needs related to those to their squads, like almost not hiring, but it's obviously free to hire internal squads, but like asking for focus on specific areas. And so one of the things that way we've been addressing that in the past is we were only doing like once a year. We were doing kind of reviews of squads and then outlooks over the next year or so. The last one we did for that, we've done it twice so far, but the last one we did, I think we did 7 months ago at this, second month of 2022. And we, each squad actually, well, DXbiz squad presented all of the things that it has accomplished and was working on and connections and things that it's brought into DXDAO. And then as a recap, and then it also presented like how the squad might change as DXDAO's products come on board, and how it might refocus on newer objectives and things, and it may grow or not grow as a squad. And so those things have been being presented in these annual reviews, but maybe it might make sense to do this more regularly than once a year, obviously. And so it's been about 7 months. So let's assume we do this twice a year. And we also have the DXDAO retreat coming up, which is always a good place to share these. But I think we have a plan to put this together even before the retreat. And so we can publish it. We're going to put this together, publish this like with the objectives and path of what DXDAO has been doing and what it plans to do. And then with the input from specific squads and the community, it can adjust what those future plans are. But this kind of feedback loop of sharing regularly what it's focused on and then learning what the community thinks it should be focused on and then adjusting what it will focus on, that feedback loop only is not very active and is not a regular topic. And so I think doing that on a more regular basis makes sense. And so this is a plan to re-update that right now, share that out, and then actually work with different people and different squads to form the path of it going forward.
Yeah, Scott, I think DXDAO is an organic being, right? We operate in all around the world, and there's certain things that we cling to as foundations, right? That are like, okay, this is where the public square is going to be. These are the things that we know we're going to be able to see and talk to people. And obviously the daily calls are like such a strong foundation because that's where we know that we can all gather to talk about important things, whatever it may be. And that has a certain cadence to it, right? We have these different ones every week that we do. And then we have the worker proposal process, which is, kind of like a 2-month period now, which is also a time that we can kind of reflect on at an individual level where things are going. And that's, I think, a pretty strong foundation that is established. And then I think we have also started to establish that like annual reflection component, whether that be that the presentations you were talking about with DXbiz that others did, but also I think the same way that we're doing like a retreat again every year. That's kind of something that will be an opportunity. I think those are also very important foundations for that type of like, you know, you're building in that reflection and feedback loop into things, so you don't have to think about it. But I think we can think more about more things and more time periods for feedback loops that are between those two extremes. Because like right now we basically have this like weekly one for squads and then the yearly one for squads. And then we just have this like individual one at 2 months that we're having that. And, you know, and this kind of gets into some of the things we're talking about in the restructuring stuff the last couple of weeks. Like how do we create accountability? How do we get DXDAO governance, rep holders, DXD holders better communicated across these things? And I think it is about building more of these regular communication channels that are just as foundational as the daily calls or like the annual retreat that we're doing. And I think for me, I could see a world where each squad, and not just a squad, I think it's more of things that are important to DXDAO. And so I could think maybe there's like 10 or 15, 20 of these. Maybe a squad has two items, but that those have like a quarterly report feel to them, that there is some update in the forum on one of the calls. Maybe it's the strategy call, maybe it's this call for certain things. But that's like a quarterly cadence there. And then like secondary, I think when we get into like the budget discussion, I think that can kind of be on like a 6-month cadence. And so there we would have like almost, you know, you'd almost be doing something different every quarter, right? Because you would have the 6-month cadence for the budget. You would have the annual review that we're still doing, right? That would kind of be there. And then you would just have these like quarterly reports that are just kind of keeping the updates there. And so like, yeah, I think thinking about how to put some structure and process on that is like, obviously for DXbiz, but for kind of all of the squads, I think that's what we can kind of be thinking about in now and, you know, in the coming weeks, and especially in Colombia, is thinking about how we can, make that a more formal process.
Yeah. And well, and that all makes sense. And really the question is like, well, why do we need to do that? Right? Like, why might that solve something that's a problem in DXDAO? And the thing that I'm trying to solve with this, and I think that helps solve it, maybe it's not perfect, but it helps, is that the squads, the product squads are coming up, or, you know, have their roadmaps, and these roadmaps are being affected by input from internal people, external people, research that we're doing on what products we should do and things. But we haven't had a system where these squads, which are going to have, obviously all these squads have their own accountability, they're not asking other squads for specific needs to be filled, right? Like DX Voice is just doing marketing of the products and the ideas of DXDAO and DXDAO in general with its own path that it determined. That path had very little input from the actual products that are part of DXDAO or are invested in by DXDAO. And so more hard asks, like in order to achieve the goals, to, for example, DX Voice and DXbiz squad from the products, rather than just let the product squads kind of come up with their own goals for how to go forward, makes a lot of sense.
But I think there is something with squads communicating with each other. Like, I think that's true, but then it's also like governance in general, right? I think to like the wider DXDAO community, rep and DXD holders.
Yeah.
Both I think are important.
Hola. Regarding how we can analyze the squads and their development, let's say in the last 3-6 months. In the development side, on the technical squad, let's say DXGov, Swapper, Carrot, there is a lot of data available that we can index and put together in order to get a better analysis on how a squad use the resources available for the goals that they wanted to achieve. For example, the amount of pull requests that they were included, the amount of features that they added, the amount of releases that they did in the last 3-6 months. Has there been any change on the side of the squad? Has any of the developers increased or lowered their level? So all this data is available. Well, this is something that I'm going to be working on the next following months, hopefully, to acquire and to help us analyze the development of the technical squads. And then I agree with Sky that there is a lot of room for inter-squad collaboration, even more non-technical and technical squads, where the technical squads are the members or the leaders of the technical squad are going to run into each other. Okay, how do we communicate this feature? How do we test this new feature on the community? This is something where, for example, the DXbiz squad come in handy. Okay, we want to communicate this new awesome feature to the users. Can you guys help us do it? And on the, for example, let's say business development, we want to do something. We want to integrate a feature like this, but we don't really know how. So can you put us in contact, or do you guys know someone who is working on something where we can collaborate together? So all those things, again, on the technical side, a lot of data that we can get, that we can accumulate in order to analyze the squad development that is just there and we haven't been using it. And then on cross-squad collaborations, we need to figure out how we can start working together. This is not going to happen from one day to another, right? But to start working together more closely on the on the technical squad. This is something that we are going to try to do on the next month, cross-squad collaboration on the technicals. But that is easy because they only speak in code, right? Developers speaks on JavaScript and Solidity, so it's way easier for them to work together. But it would be great to close this gap between technical and non-technical squads. And for example, on non-technical squads, what data is there available that can help us analyze their development? So, and I know that gathering data is a problem for math because it can be very invasive in the privacy level, and it's something that we don't want. But start thinking on that, how we can start getting more hard data to analyze our development. And to also, it's not only for us, it's also to prove the work that has been done. How do you prove that the feature that you integrated took a lot of work? Okay, you show the code, you show all the contributors that were involved, you show all the discussion that was involved in the pull request. That is how you prove that something like that took that many effort.
Yeah, so there's two types of data. So there's the maybe having better Dune dashboards on anything that is on chain. Like, I don't know, what's the number of active users on Swapper, like what number of wallets, like each day, right? And then there's the exploration that the squad is doing around use Fathom or some additional tool to gather some of the actual user behavior. Like, so it's not just wallets doing an on-chain transaction, but what are these wallets actually using on Swapper? Are they using echo routing? Are they farming things? I guess we can see if, like, what percentage of wallets who trade on Swapper also farm, put liquidity into farms as well. But that public data yeah, maybe if we don't have the best Dune dashboards for that, we have some older ones, but we can, if we need to, I guess we can hire through bounties people that are experts in Dune dashboards to have better like live data, I guess. Yeah. Any other comments around that topic?
I guess it will probably happen, but I'm just thinking it would be good to maybe do this DXbiz review outlook again for the retreat.
Yep.
And I think for a bunch of other things, but it was, especially then, it's like a good opportunity to like reflect on different things, and I think also kind of keep things on like a longer time frame.
Yep. So next thing is, yeah, this is an example of, I guess, this thing in practice. Like Carrot is a product of DXDAO. It has a developer, but there's not really we don't currently have a product owner, like overseer. I'd say Venki's doing that for Swapper. We don't really have that for Carrot right now. So one of the things with that would be, yeah, like if Swapper wants to do a campaign or Carrot wants to do a campaign or push something that it's releasing or new, it can ask, yep, squads within DXDAO to help with these things. And so with DevCon coming up, we've been roughly talking about the idea of doing a Carrot campaign, an activation similar to something we did in Amsterdam, which got a lot of attention. It's not clear that, yeah, there's not a lot of momentum behind it. It's not clear that it's desired. It's not clear that that Carrot V1 will be ready for DevCon. And so then would the campaign be using Carrot MVP? Is that what the Carrot team wants? Is that what DXDAO thinks is a good idea? We have one idea for a Carrot activation, which is related more to charity. Maybe charity is less interesting than using Carrot for the hackathon or using Carrot for a Swapper campaign or using Carrot for another real world use case. The charity, like the inspiring people to donate to a good cause for charitable reasons, is like always one possibility. Could have some attention and some impact, but it's really focused on giving, incentivizing giving, and not sure if that's what the Carrot team like wants to be a good use case, or if that's it's not something we've tried before, so it's an additional new use case. We came up with ones in the past, which were also new use cases, like the awareness one in Amsterdam. But this is something where, like, yeah, the squads need to all work together to determine if there is a desire to put on a campaign using Carrot.
Who is currently the Carrot team?
Right now it's Federico, but he can't do. Yeah, he's developing Carrot, but and there are some people now looking at organizing to get the front end done, I believe, but I don't know. Yeah, but there's not someone in charge of making Carrot succeed as a product.
Yeah, and this way it will never succeed.
Like the full
This
attention
way,
of the person who is basically a product owner, right? I don't know if that's the right term, but
yeah, this way it will never succeed. You can have an awesome developer, but well, we all know that communicating a product and bringing it to people is you can have a great product, but it's someone using it. So there is no Carrot team then. There is no Carrot team, so I don't see any reason why to pursue and spend resource in Carrot if we don't have a proper Carrot team organized that is willing to take these initiatives. It's not this like, okay, who wants to do this? Yeah, I have some free time. Yeah, let's create some Carrot campaigns and try to make people use it. That is not the way, in my opinion. So here there is a bigger issue that there is no team. You just mentioned the Carrot team, but there is no team. So we cannot execute these initiatives if we don't have a Carrot team that can contribute with the squads. That the squads already have a lot of priorities and a lot of work to be done. I think in Swapper they have a lot of features that they want to add. DXgov, there is a governance 2.0 coming. So this has to be a need really established, and a strong need by DXO, and maybe if we can have some approval from DXC holders also on their side that they want to pursue this, later we execute it. But to do something because we think that we might get some people to use Carrot, whether it's only one developer behind it, I think it won't be good. It won't be a good use of our resources and time.
Yeah, I agree with Augusto here. Or like, I think it does take time and effort to do this. I think Amsterdam was like kind of a cool experiment. We demonstrated something there. But like when Carrot is at the right place, then I think it would make sense to do something like this. But yeah, I don't know if it's at the right place right now for Colombia.
yeah. So if the idea of a campaign which gets awareness and grows users is a Swapper campaign or a DXgov campaign or a guilds campaign, I guess not using Carrot, but some other method, is that a desired goal for those products during DEF CON?
Something that we can also do, we have the platform to execute it. We can bring Carrot into the Infinite Hackathon. We can give a talk about Carrot. We can make sure that, okay, hey guys, developers, you have the KPI token framework. It is awesome. It hasn't been released yet. We are working on it, but you are able to use this technology before it gets published. And I know it is published and becomes a real product. So this will be something great if we can get more projects, let's say hacker projects, to use Carrot. That will not even bring validation to the technical implementation, but also let's say that this project later succeeds and it really wants to use Carrot, we will have a first use case for Carrot outside DXgov, something that was built into Infinite Hackathon. So maybe this is where we can push what the resources that we have in Carrot. We have an awesome developer. Okay, let's make sure that this awesome developer is going to be in the hackathon, that can communicate the product, that can attract other hackers and developers to use it.
Yeah, so we have some experience with this. We had Carrot MVP ready. We had some unaudited contracts for Carrot V1, and this was in February of 2022. We included Carrot as one of the two main things for hackers to work on at ETH Denver, right? And we got a few little submissions on Hacker. There was an interesting NFT. I think the NFT hack is the one that won, is including NFTs in Carrot V1. But one of the confusing things was that like Carrot V1 wasn't ready. The contracts weren't audited. And so even now, if we're like, if DXDAO can't even do a campaign using Carrot V1 in Bogota, asking hackers to like hack on it is I mean, it's possible, but it seems hard for hackers to take that jump when they're creating something on something that can't really be used, right? If they want to add a new interesting thing to Carrot, they want to be able to like deploy it and use it on the front end and like share it in the hacker community during that week. Just doing it like some interesting, thing like the NFT one in the background for when Carrot's ready in the future, you could also use NFTs, which is helpful, but it's not like no one can use it that day. So it's like less of an interesting hack for people, I think. And so I'm worried about the Carrot in the same situation at Infinite would be, yeah, it's like people could hack on it, but if it's not usable really, if like MVP is usable, Carrot V1, which is what we want people to hack on, is not usable, are hackers going to want to pay attention to that basically?
Well, if we can have that's a question for Federico. Can we get a usable application of Carrot V1 on Go early to be used by the hackers? The test network that they are going to be using Infinite Hackathon is Go early. So if we have something there in place working that they can play with, that will be enough for the developers.
Okay, so yeah, I guess Carrot Squad / DXDAO like needs to decide whether it wants to make a push.
Yeah, in general, I think Swapper would be better than Carrot. Like if we're talking about things that grow, like that's a product that's kind of ready there. I think we got some cool things going on with Carrot, but in terms of where I think, or guilds too, right? Those are things that are kind of coming out now.
Yeah, so something like promoting expeditions during DevCon from a Swapper perspective, is that interesting time to share? It's obviously always good to have a new talking point about the products of the DAO when you're in person at events, and something new and unique that people can experience and try for the first time is.
Yeah, maybe Venki has something, but I still think the front end ownership and privacy is like a really great angle, and just highlighting that I think would be a really good brand move for Swapper.
Yeah, as far as expeditions go, I think we are ready with the backend stuff, but we have to, we need how we could best visualize the fragments that users will be minting. So if we could gather that in the next couple of days or so in terms of design, then probably we might be able to push something out in expeditions for Swapper. But apart from that, the angle of privacy and decentralized front ends, I think that's a good narrative.
Yeah, and that angle is the exact angle, and I'll be sharing. I think I'll just share the whole presentation in some format. That was what I spoke about at MCon, and using Swapper as the pretty good example of a product in our space that is on the compared to other products on the closer end to being an unstoppable product, and that includes how the front end is accessed and the back end is controlled, and then also the privacy, no censorship element of it as well. But yeah, that's talking points to Swapper. How you do a campaign or something around that at DevCon without using something like Carrot is hard. I don't know if we have ideas for that yet, but we can continue to think about it.
How far are we away from DevCon? Is it 4 weeks now?
Yeah, so the hackathon is October, like 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 7th, 8th, 9th.
Okay.
Quite close, yeah. Which is why if we were going to do a Carrot campaign, there's a lot of learnings and work that went into the one in Amsterdam. It's not a super technical. It is possible to use MVP, but like if we're not doing Carrot, whatever, we don't have to. But like if we're going to do something, there's a lot of planning that had to go into it, and we still were late and got it messed up. So we would have to have already started it, basically. Like we have to start it today if we're going to do a campaign. And so this is the opinion of some people here that like it's not ready to do a campaign. If that's the case, then we won't focus on that. But if the majority thinks that we should, then we need to start focusing on it. And if that's around Swapper or if that's around Davi, then we need to come up with that as well. But time is approaching quickly. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is a helpful conversation. Yeah, I guess a few events that we can recap, but then I guess Infinite would be the most important thing to focus on over the next couple weeks to like get more hackers attending and applying. And we're sharing it. Yeah, I shared it at MCon a bunch. We're sharing it at DAppCon in Berlin. We have a few people there. And so, yeah, sharing it's one thing. Getting people to say, oh, yeah, I want to hack in that hackathon, and then sign up for it is another thing. So keep focused on that, I guess. Yeah, and I guess we're at the top of the hour. We can call it here, but thanks everyone for joining the DXbiz weekly gathering. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Scott.